Hello everyone, welcome to ATTAS Clothing. Today we are diving into another amazing tutorial, which is the making of this beautiful fila cap, this Yoruba kind of cap with ashoke material. As you see this, we are going to be taking it step by step. We are going to be looking into the making of this cap step by step, and it's going to be a detailed tutorial. It's as simple as ABC. And if you are my returning subscriber, I say thank you. And if you are here, you have not yet subscribed, please do well to subscribe now. Turn on your bell so that you get notified whenever we drop an amazing video like this again. Without further ado, let's go straight to the video. Alright, you are welcome. First, we'll look at the materials needed, the tools we need to work. You will need a pair of scissors. You need your measuring tape, your chalk. You will need a color stay, a hard color stay. Then you will need a ruler, something that can make you rule a straight line. So let's begin with the measurement. Now the measurement I'm using for this cap is the head circumference is 22.5. 22, okay, 22 rather, is 22, not 0.5, is 22 exactly. So that is the measurement I'm using for this client. So let's begin. Before we go into that, there is something we'll do. Instead of using this ashoke material, okay, I did not introduce this one to you. You also need your material you use for the for the cap. So this is called ashoke. So, and this is what you are going to be using for this cap. Now first you will look at this line as straight, right? So if you want it slanted, you are going to be following the method I'm using here. And at the same time, not only the slanting effect that you need for this pattern I want to use, you want the height of your cap to be higher than the wideness of this ashoke material. You can see the wideness here is 6.5, and you need your cap to be higher than that, maybe 8.5 or 9 inches. Running it like this, we are going to be doing this. First, you place your measuring tape like this. Now I'm going to be measuring the height of my cap. I'm going to be doing 8.5. You can see I place my tape slantly like this to get 8.5. You are going to be marking exactly that point. You can see you place it again from that point of 8.5, slantly again downward like this. Then you mark another point. You can see now from that point you are going to mark measure from there to this point. What I'm having here is 11. I think this 11 is too small for me, so I'm going to be increasing the height of my cap to 9 inches instead of the 8.5. So I'll mark the same 9 inches here, and at this point I think I will have my I will have measuring it like this. I have 12.5, which is okay now. 12.5. So what do we do again? We come here from that 9 inches point, we measure our 12.5. You can see you mark the 12.5 here. I hope you are seeing what I'm doing. Okay, so you mark your 12.5 at that point. You can see from here to this point of 9 inches we slanted. So you come down here again and measure another 12.5. You can see. But if you don't want to be going through this measurement, you can rule this like this now and cut out 1. then you use it as a pattern for the rest. Now look at it, you slant it. That was the first measurement. Then the second point is to this place. Then we are connecting that second point to this other one here. From here we have 12.5, from here we have 12.5. So we are connecting this to this. Look at it this way. This is connected to this also. Now we can continue measuring like that till we get 3 pieces of this. We need 3 pieces for this, but I'm going to be cutting this one and use it as a pattern for the rest. So I'll cut this like so, cut it out. This is the piece we need, and we are going to be needing 3 of these. So I'll place it on this like this again and cut it out exactly the same shape. Make sure you place it very well. Cut exactly the same thing, and again we cut for the third one. I said we need 3 of these, and so it is going to be like this. That is it. So use your chalk to indicate the wrong side and the right side of the fabric. So I'll keep the remaining one aside. We are going to be using it for the head, the roof. So these are what we have now. I'll go to my sewing machine now to join this material together. And how do we join it? You know, we cut like this. We are going to be joining it like this. So this will come to this. You can see what we have. This to this. This also to this. And we are going to have it straight up like this. I hope you understand. So let's move to our, okay, before we go to the sewing machine, let us also cut out the collar stay. The collar stay I'm having here is not really enough for what I want, but I'm going to manage it to get what I want. So how do we cut it out now? The width of the collar stay we are going to be cutting is, okay, what I have here is 3.25. So that is okay for me. Remember, I'm limited to what I need here, so I will just use what I have. The length is not enough for my head circumference. You know, I'll be needing 22. Like I said earlier, the head circumference is 22. So this is what I need, and I'm having just 18 inches here. So I'm going to join this. I'll check where I have my 3.25 and I'll join it. All right, I've gone ahead to cut out my collar stay. You see, I have 2 pieces here. I'm going to join it into one because I don't have enough. You should cut your own together. So after joining this, it's going to give me exactly 22 inches plus my sewing allowance. Okay, any sewing allowance you want to use, either 1.5 or 1 inch sewing allowance, you add it to your total length, that is to the head circumference you want to use for the cap. So after I join my own here, I should have something more than 22 inches. So if I join it, I'll measure it and I'll know what I have for my sewing allowance. So let's begin. I've joined my collar stay, and here I have, after joining, I have 23 and half. So the rest of 1.5 should be used for sewing allowance. Okay, then I'll put that aside. Let me join my ashoke. We are joining it this way. Now I have it round like this, but it's still going to be too much for the head circumference, so I'll cut it open like this, split it open, and then we have it this way. Okay, so we are getting there. After this, I think the total length we have here now is 26 inches, which is way more than what we need. So you place your collar stay this way, leaving, like, at this point now you are leaving like 1 inch or 3/4 of an inch for sewing allowance. I'm going to be leaving 1 inch there. Okay, leave 1 inch allowance at the down part. Then you are going to sew like this. You sew straight at the down part like this. Then at the top, still sew it straight like that also. Okay, now I'm going to be running straight stitch in between the stitch all. So these are the lines I've made, and this is how the back will look like. The outside part of the cap, this is how it will look like. I use a black thread so it will not be too obvious at the back here. You can use any color of thread you want. So I'll take it to my ironing table now, iron it flat, then cut out my lining. So I've gone ahead to cut my lining. This is the fabric I'm using for my lining. So I've cut it already, the same length and width of this material I have here. We cut it exactly the same. Okay, so before I do that, I join it. I'm going to run a stitch here, you can see I iron here, fold, right? Even at the down part here, but pay attention to the upper part here. Now I'm going to run this stitch here to indicate the height of my cap here. Okay, this is totally optional. It's optional. You can leave it if you want to, and you can do it. You can see now when I open it up, you see what I have here. This is going to indicate the height of my cap. Okay, so this is what I have, right? Then I can now join it to my lining. Can now join this down part to my lining. The down part I fold here, I'll join it to my lining. Now while joining it to the lining, I'm not going to sew exactly closer to this collar stay. No, I'm going to be sewing half inch and leaving half inch before the collar stay. Okay, I'll leave about half an inch in between my stitch and the collar stay. Okay, so that when we fold in, the lining doesn't come out at all. So you are going to understand when I'm done. I'll stitch like this. I'll sew straight. You can see what we have. And we'll fold this in now. You can see my main fabric coming in. You can see. So there is no way this lining will come out on the right side. That is what we want to have. Now I'm going to run a top stitch on the lining to make it look firm. After top stitching, this is what I have. You can see it from the inside. Now my seam is properly relaxed towards the lining. Okay, so after that, I'll now fold it into two like this. You can see I'll fold it into two like this. This is where I'll take my head circumference. The measurement I have for my head circumference, this is where I need it. Okay, you are going to want to align this together. Let it be equal. Let everything be equal. Like where we indicate the height of the cap that time, we'll align it together. Let everything align properly. Okay, that's what make your work look perfect and neat. Okay, so we measure it first and take it to our sewing machine. I'm going to be measuring my 22 inches exactly. Now it's on fold. It's folded into two, so we are going to be measuring half of 22 inches. So 22 inches divided by 2, it will give us 11 inches. So I'll mark my 11 at this point. Okay, this is my 11. So it's on this line I'm going to sew, but I'll start from this part first before I continue with the lining. So this is what I'm going to do. I'll start from here to the top first. So I'll continue from where I started here downward towards the lining. This is it. So you can see I have excess allowance here, so I'm going to trim out a bit. I don't need all of this allowance inside. I'm going to trim it out and leave about 3/4 of an inch. So this is it. Then you open up the seam, open it up like so. You can give it a good press at this point. You can iron it for it to relax. I'm going to just do that and come back quickly. Now this is what I have after ironing. Now I'm going to turn it over. Turn the lining over to the main material like this. You pull it up until the material come in. You pull it up to have it exactly at the line, exactly at the point at the beginning of the collar stay. Okay, put all the allowances you have at the down part up like this. You can see that's the essence of not sewing it closer to the collar stay. That time you see the material coming in and the lining will in no way come out when they wear this cap. Okay, the lining will not come out. You see, make everything firm, and then you are going to run a top stitch at the down part here to hold this together with the collar stay. To hold it with the collar stay, I'm going to run a stitch here. So this is it. Let's turn it to the outside and see what we have. You can see there is excess allowance on the lining here. You are free to trim it out at this point. You trim out the excess of the lining, this excess here, you don't need it. So trim it out straight like this. So I'm going to run another stitch again round at the top like this to hold down the lining, to hold the lining and the fabric together, so that the lining doesn't move around at this point. We are getting to the finishing already. So this is it. You can see the only thing left for us to do now is to cover the head, and then we are done with our cap. So this is the material I'm going to be using to cover the head. Now I'll place, you can see, I'll place my cap like this. You can see, place it like so. Then I'll mark round, place it properly. Then I'll mark round. I'll mark with ½ inch allowance round, that is ½ inch before the cap. You can mark exactly the cap round, then you add your ½ inch sewing allowance round before cutting. But now I'm marking together with my ½ inch sewing allowance, so whichever way you want to do it is fine. You can see this is already together with my ½ inch allowance round. So this is it. I'm going to cut the same, exactly the same thing on the lining also. This is the fabric for the lining. I'll place it like this and cut the same thing. Before then, let me stitch it together and then trim it out. So this is it. Therefore, I'll trim now. Trim out the excess. So this is what we have. Now we are going to turn our cap inside out like this, right? Then we'll begin to join it to the head like this. You can see we'll start joining it with the ½ inch sewing allowance we left earlier. The ½ inch sewing allowance we left, that's what we will use to join it now. So I'm done. I'm going to trim down this sewing allowance to remain like 1/4 inch. This is too big, too bulky for me. I'll trim it down a bit to remain half of sorry, just like 1/4 inch. That is 0.25 is what we are going to have left. Trim it out to remain small. Don't need excess allowance inside to not make it look good. The last thing is I'll go ahead now to weave this edge round so that it doesn't fray as time goes on. Okay, I'll weave the edge neat, and that is all. Our cap then is ready. You can see what we have now. You can see now. You go to your ironing table and give it a good press, right? You can see what we have now. The cap is already ready. You iron it, and how do you iron it? You fold it into two like this. You can see this joint we have here. You are going to be folding this one on the joints like this. You see, fold it on this joint, fold it on it like this, you see, and then iron it flat. Turn it like this again and iron flat, and then you are done. Your cap is ready. You can see without ironing yet, you can see what we are having. This is good looking already. It's beautiful. Thank you for watching. Please do like and subscribe the video. Like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. So you can see what we have. All right, we have come to the end of today's tutorial. Please do well to like the video, share it to your friends. Also, the very important one is you should try to subscribe. Please subscribe. It will help us a lot to grow. You can see. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye for now.